You are now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Welcome to another episode of the forecast, but I promise you, this ain't your mama and daddy forecast tonight.
Oh no!
You know what I'm saying?
Gather around, niggas.
Hey, yeah, gather around, gather around. This ain't your mama and daddy forecast. I assure you, our illustrious host and founder of BS3 Network.
Yes.
We call him whatever we want to call him. He is out today. So you got a substitute teacher in the room in myself, and you already know how the fuck I get down. And I got my compadre with me, my comrade, my chap, what was the last one you had? Was it chap?
It was Chaps. Hey, Chaps.
Okay. I got him with me, and that is David Mayhem Wilkes. What's up with it, homeboy?
Man, what's going on, man? I'm good. They're doing all right. I think we're gonna be good tonight.
Yeah.
Might scare some people off, but that's okay.
That's all right. But we know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go off script right off the bat, and I want you to go on and tell them what you said. That we start. See, folks don't understand. You know, the reason why they be tripping about whether you go to church on Sunday and stuff like that.
Right.
And they don't understand church will jump off at any time if your mindset right.
Hey, church
ain't got to be on Sunday.
Church is not the building. Church is not the building.
Ain't got to be on Sunday. So what you say before the show that I said?
Like I was saying, we were just talking about having things together and doing things, from jump. And if I do something off, or if I do something that I know I shouldn't have done it that way, I literally can hear my grandmother's voice. If you do it right the first time, you don't have to double back and try to get it together. Start it off right as much as possible, and then you don't have to go back. Now you're working hard. Now you're working twice as hard as you did the first time. Do it right the first time if you can, and keep your tools, keep things in front of you.
Yeah.
Like I tell my son all the time, it's like whether it's working on a car, whether it's driving a forklift at his first job, whatever the case is, have those things within reach. Don't go into a job having to stop, readjust, go back and get what I need, because then you're gonna be like, man, I should have brought that with me. Why didn't I have that with me? It's always good to have more than you need and have less than what you got when you're going in.
Hey, ain't that the truth, man? And I remember what started it is because I was talking about rearranging the studio here and changing locations.
Right.
Wilk said, make it light on yourself.
Yeah, make it light on yourself.
And I said, that's what my papa used to say when we was playing dominoes. Make it light on yourself.
Make it light on yourself.
And that's when he went into and said that when he's doing stuff, he frequently hears his grandmama voice saying, if you do it right the first time.
Man.
And as soon as he said that, he didn't have to say nothing else. I said, that'll preach right there, man.
Right.
I said, that'll preach. I wanted him to stop talking. Because when something good like that is in my spirit, I want it to just linger and marinate, man, because it's so good.
Yeah,
it really is, and I'm like, shoot, just sit with that for a
man. If you do it right the first time.
That's such a simple concept, man.
Right.
But how often do we get that wrong?
Oh, quite a bit.
So
I mean, it's quite a bit. Most of the time, 100% of the time, you're gonna get it wrong.
Yeah,
because now you're trying to overthink the situation and you're overcrowding yourself.
Yeah, you got
to overcrowd yourself.
Yeah, you got to overcorrect because you trying to make up for a shortcoming that you didn't have to have.
Exactly.
All right. So even though we on here preaching and we trying to give a word, and again, we done tried to say not only is this not your mom and daddy forecast, this is not your mom and daddy movie review show. I hadn't said that in a while, but this ain't what that is, right?
Right.
We don't review 7 or 8 movies in an episode. We review one.
Right.
And that movie is generally just an excuse to get us talking about some other shit anyway.
Pretty much.
All right.
Pretty much.
So anyway, so we're gonna get into some initial thoughts of this. I'm gonna get into the plot and things of that nature, and then I'll get Wiltz's initial thoughts. Please, if you've watched the movie, because this is an older one, came back out in 2017 on Netflix, so there is a good possibility that you may have heard it. So again, share your thoughts with us as well. Keep in mind, we are live on Roku TV. You can get online at bs3network.com or you can get on Roku and search BS3 TV and watch us on the big screen. You hear me?
Yeah.
You can watch it on the big screen in the living room. You can watch them in the man cave. You can watch us in the bathroom on your phone. While you killing 2 birds,
right?
One stone.
Either
way, but anyway, so the plot of this one is Deuces is an American crime drama written and directed by Jamal Hill. The film stars Larenz Tate, Meagan Good, or should I say Meagan Good?
Oh yes,
and Sia. Sia is a new to me. I need to check out some of her music because she's a musical artist that I was sleeping on a little bit. The film is executive produced by Queen Latifah for her production company Flavor Unit Entertainment.
Nice.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, Deuces premiered on Netflix on April 1st, 2017. The is Detective Jason Foster goes undercover to take down a crime ring that has been impenetrable by the police department for years. However, Foster finds himself drawn in by the unique persona of ringleader Stephen Deuces Brooks, which is played by Larenz Tate, and the dual life that he leads. The mission is further complicated when Foster's sister, Janet, also falls under Deuces' spell. And Janet is played by Meagan Good. So let me just spell it out to you.
Yeah.
Larenz Tate is the gangster, so to speak. The crime boss, got a little crew, the poop butt crew. But he's trying to do that whole transition, just like every mobster gangster kind of try to go legit.
Right.
They want to make their money in an illegitimate way, then they want to go legit.
Absolutely.
But if you do it right the first time,
man, come on,
then it don't ever work out, do it. Man. So that's what he did. Yeah. So he's caught between that crime life and wanting to do it legit. Meagan Good falls for him, who happens to have a brother that's a detective working undercover, who also falls for him.
I want to ask a quick question right there, because we talk about going legit.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to forgive me because I don't really know all of the organized crime big boss scenes. But as of today, is Jay-Z the epitome of going legit in this era?
So, well, that depends. Let me ask you this:
how
illegit was he? See, I don't know that. Did he, so many rappers and whatnot out there be trying to play like they was out there in that life.
Yeah,
I don't know that about Jay-Z. So how illegit was
he? He seemed like he was. He talking about he was on the corner. When he. As a matter of fact, David Letterman. If you haven't watched it, he has something on Netflix where he brings on guests and he talks to them. And I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a David. It's pretty smooth.
I think it says something like our next guest is.
Yeah, I think it's called
next.
I think it's next
like
guest.
That. Yeah.
Well, Jay-Z was on there. And he was talking about how he was doing that to feed, because his mama wasn't always making ends meet, and he was putting food on the table. But he talked about how he was running the corner boys and running out to the street. But he flipped that, and he went legit because he said rapping was more of like my passion. Slinging this coke was just like, okay, I gotta get money coming in.
I gotta eat. Yeah.
So I'm
the difference. Okay, so that's a good question. The difference in that to me may be
if
he took
the
money he made with drugs, that helped be able to give him opportunities in the rap game, right? Like if that paid for studio time or paid for beats, producing or whatever, then I think 100% sure you'd have to say that that's a biggest go
Right.
legit,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
If his rapping ability is what
Right.
made way for his rapping and now legit business,
Right.
I can't call it you went legit. You
Yeah,
did
exactly.
go legit, but
Yeah.
did you go legit because you had a stack of money that helped you get there?
Right.
And I think that's for the gangsters. That's what's important. They
Right.
got to have that. They can't
Yeah.
do it with
Yeah.
just their talent alone. They got to
Yes.
have the money.
Yes.
Jay-Z might have been able to do it with just his talent alone.
Right,
Makes
exactly,
sense?
exactly.
You follow
Like
me?
you
And that,
said, yeah, like he said, he bought that studio time. You know, maybe he was
yeah,
always legit because he said he never writes anything down anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that may have always been his goal, his end game. But
right.
like I said, I don't know about like the Al Capones and the Godfathers of how, you know, I don't know, Bumpy Johnson. You know, I don't. I mean, yeah, they own tire shops. Yeah, they own cleaners. But that was just for moving money.
Those were fronts. Yeah, those were
that was
fronts
just
for
moving money.
laundering
Yeah.
purposes. And
Yeah.
so they had at least a legitimate business venture going so they could
Right.
have some deniability.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a good question. So what about what on this movie? Had you seen it? Really? Okay.
Yeah, I
So
had never heard of it. But I mean, of course, like I told Ben, I was like, man, Tubi TV and Netflix must have been arm wrestling for this one. But yeah, I was like, but I had to get past the production quality. But you know what? I really didn't have a problem with it. It was one of those typical, like, you know, I'm in this game. I'm trying to go legit. I want to get in because like he said, he wants to get into real estate. I was a little skeptical at first. I'm just like, I was picking up some like some Dead President vibes, you know.
Right.
This was like, man, how can I get a sequel because that one didn't go right. I went into the big, you know, at the end, you know, he go to jail, prison.
Right.
So, you know, I was getting all kinds of different vibes from this one, but I didn't realize that Queen Latifah, her production team, had produced it. So,
Me either. So immediately once I saw the bicycles, the motorcycles, I realized that I saw bits and pieces of this. I never sat down and watched it from start to finish, uninterrupted, anything like that. But I just seen little bits and pieces, which shame on me. Because if I knew Meagan Good was bringing it like she was bringing it in this, I would have watched it and saved some spank bank material. But I did not.
Hey, Meagan Good, I can't. Hey, man, hands down, baby.
Woo, she good.
Yeah,
that's why they name her
peanut butter.
All right, let's get a couple comments. We got Ben Sutter III, the gentleman who put the BS and BS3 network on. Says, "Sup, fellas?" I don't know how he commented. He done took off work. He's shooting hooky and gonna comment.
He got that Dr. Dre jacket on.
Yeah. Did he change his profile picture today? He did.
Yeah.
So did. Then we got the end of the bench media. Likely H-Rap here says, "Good evening, fellas. What's up, my man? Hope everything's all right with you." Before we dig into this one, we let's talk a little bit about drinks because we do that from time to time. So what you sipping on? Because I got something very interesting that I think you may be interested in. But what you drinking on right here?
You know, sometimes I got my old schools I fall back on. So just the whiskey sour tonight.
Okay, yeah, that's one you can never go wrong with.
Yeah, just the whiskey sour.
Yeah. If I'm gonna drink a whiskey, which I'm not a big whiskey drinker, that would be one I would consider. If somebody says whiskey sour, especially if it's made properly.
If it's made properly.
Yeah. Now I personally prefer an amaretto sour because it's just a little sweeter and it's got that almond, you know.
Next time you out somewhere, order yourself an old Cuban.
Okay.
They're gonna probably look at you crazy, but they need to look it up and they need to make you an old Cuban.
That sounds like one I need to make my damn self.
Yeah, you can make it. I've made it a few times. I made it a few times.
Okay. So my drink is actually one that a buddy of mine actually orders, and it comes by way of Italy, legitimately.
Nice.
I'm trying my best to get me a case of it. Yeah. But it is when I say it's pulling teeth trying to get it, you know.
Yeah.
But it is called Limonata.
Nice.
And it's made by this company Croto, but it's a legit, you know, Italy deal, man. And even the can, it's an 11.2 ounce can.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
And you know, I put it in the freezer so it can get as cold as it possibly can right before the freezing point.
Kind of slushy,
but it is really like a fresh Sprite or 7-Up or something like that. Nice. Like super fresh, refreshing, but it has a lot more lemon
Yeah.
flavor in it.
Well, I can see that. I mean, Italy is big for their lemon trees, and they have a lemon that's actually not sour. They have a sweet lemon, which I can't think of
but
the name.
literally, the difference between theirs and ours, their legitimate ingredients is carbonated spring water, lemon juice.
That's it. Straight to the point.
You hear me?
Straight to the point.
And it's good too.
Hey, I could probably make one of them downstairs right now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So anyway, any other initial thoughts to share about this one before we dig into it a little bit?
No, not really. I mean, I it was the typical, I'm doing this, but I eventually want to go legit. I think that's really what I was picking up from.
Which is not a new deal. And then when you do that, so let's think back to Power. That's one that a lot of people could probably relate to, right?
Yeah.
Same situation. Ghost is wanting to go legit, and of course, all your crew or your boys you came up with, they ain't hearing that shit.
Right.
That legit ain't hitting on nothing. That ain't how we got here. We didn't get here going legit. We got here, going to get this paper. So of course, a couple of his crews, when he say I'm trying to go legit and get real estate and whatnot, they looking at him like, man, you done got soft on us. We still about slinging well, they really wasn't slinging because they wasn't out on the corner.
They didn't really show
had crews, but they wanted to keep flipping stuff. And and it looks like they do a little robbery every now and then too, so they dabbled in a little everything the way it looked, And so when he started talking about going legit, they wasn't with it, man.
Oh, no, they were trying to hear that. Well, because you messing with my money, my quick money.
Right. But he wasn't saying, basically he was saying like, I'm going legit. So if they thought process was proper, well, cool. You go legit, I'm gonna keep running our crew.
Right.
I'm gonna step into your spot and let's go ahead and collaborate in the future if necessary. You got me out here on the street. I got you in the business world if I need it. If they thought process was right, but you got jealousy and all this other stuff,
trying to get a spot. You don't know how to put one foot in the door and one foot in the street. It was like, hey, you can still, whatever you running, then hey, at that point, then start you a small crew if you want to keep running the street.
Right.
But then just know that when you come over here, I'm trying to go legit. But you can still get it, but there's still room at the table for you when you come over here, though.
Right.
I'm not gonna just X y'all out.
Just because you're legit doesn't mean that all of a sudden now all of your associates are. There are business. There are business people that from time to time got a felon that's in their house having.
Hey, we hear it. We hear it in music. I was like, hey, it's one of those things. Matter of fact, I've heard too many rap songs and too many local people here in Texas. Even though I'm going legit, I still know hitters.
That's right. Yeah,
I still know. Even though he just got out yesterday.
Yeah,
he's back. Trust me. Back man, he's still back knocking them off.
He ain't forgot how to do it. Right on. Of course, now one of the things that I did not like about this movie is again, like you said Tubi and whoever was wrestling. But what I didn't like about it is so you got a young detective who has a history, from what I got.
What it seems like,
a history of cops or something in his background that made him want to be a cop. So or it's a situation where his daddy was done wrong and didn't get the justice that he needed. So something inspired him to be a cop. Fine. This is Meagan Good's brother, and this guy's played by Lance Gross. If you saw his picture, you would know who he is. He's played in a couple of low budget BET type, Tyler Perry type movies. That's that guy. So he wants to go legit. He wants to be a cop. He is a cop. And he's trying to move up. So one of the lieutenants calls him in and says, I got an opportunity. But first of all, did you get any creepy vibes from this cop? Like, you got an opportunity, you looking out for me. You ain't interested in me at all. Right. Did you get any of that?
I did, because it's just like, man, you just trying to use me to get to somebody you can't catch.
Right. Yeah. Like you trying to make it seem like this is an opportunity for me. And should you decide to do it, you need to be where it is and stuff. This is an opportunity. Knowing you're going to put me in a situation that this can get me killed. Just talk straight to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm trying to get to this guy. I can't get to him.
Right.
You got to go undercover. It's some shit that'll get your ass killed.
Point.
But that's a good way to move your career up if you want to do it.
Right.
If you're willing to take that risk. Just shoot me straight. Don't be BSing me.
Yeah,
so the thing that I did not like about it is the fact that, this just so happens to be the brother of Meagan Good, who just so happens to be coming out of one of the buildings that Larenz Tate, which is Deuces, is going into or out of or whatever, and they bump in the hall and spill papers, and they, so I just so happen to be the one chick I can find in the city.
Right.
Well, I'll give it to you to find a chick in the city, probably.
Oh, yes.
But the one chick I can get to in the city just happens to be the sister of the undercover cop just got put on my case.
Yeah. It's like, unfortunately, it's like they had to play on that. Because honestly, if they didn't have that element,
there's no other way you can get. I got it. You're right. I didn't like it. But
I didn't like it either.
But it's a necessary evil, I suppose.
Right. It was almost as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yes.
The only other way maybe, let's see, because he owns a nightclub, right?
Yes.
So let's just pretend Meagan Good is in there celebrating her birthday, and with some of her girlfriends and some of her friends and family, and her brother happens to be in there.
Right.
And you meet her that way.
Yeah. Right.
And her brother just happens to be a cop. That to me would have been a lot more plausible,
right,
than the way they went about it.
The way they did it, yeah. Of course, he shows up at the apartment and she's hugging. I'm like, oh, great, like I should have seen.
So they didn't ask me to direct it. They didn't ask me to write it or produce it. So they did it their way.
Right.
All right. So soundtrack. We don't have A-Trap here to see if he got it or not. What about you? You on that soundtrack?
The only one I caught was the brother Johnson.
Okay, I knew you could catch that one. You didn't catch Thief's Theme by Nas early on?
Oh, early on.
That was a banger.
Yeah,
Nas.
that was the beginning. Yeah, that was the beginning.
Rent to Own by this artist called As Is. And of course, like you said, the Brothers Johnson, Strawberry Letter 23. And then I Need a Dollar. I need dollars. Dollars is what I. Yeah, right on.
I was trying to figure out who was this R. Kelly brother they kept trying to play. I don't know what the Four Seasons or something like that. I don't know.
I didn't catch that one. All right, we got CJ Boyd in the building. He says, "What's good, y'all?" And then of course A-Trap, as always, saying, "Please hit the like button and thumbs up button and subscribe button and all that other stuff."
Yeah.
Okay, A-Trap says, "Yeah, I did catch that." Okay. So the soundtrack interesting. So again, it set up him and Meagan Good. Now think of that. Ask me. So Love Jones. You remember that movie? Right?
Yep.
This got Love Jones kind of vibe to it too.
Love Jones, Dead Presidents. Even I told Ben there's a movie called Torque because it was like they were a motorcycle gang, but they were on like Kawasaki's, and then I kind of got some of all that meshed together. But
I think I started. Wasn't Larenz Tate like wearing some leather jacket in that? Like,
he was.
Leather motorcycle jacket. Okay, I think I've seen that too.
He was.
I wonder if he's a motorcycle guy in real life.
He might be like
Keanu, because a lot of his movies will bring, will have motorcycles, and he look like he knows his way around them.
He might. I mean, Keanu Reeves is the same way. He's got a motorcycle company that they build motorcycles on request.
Oh, really?
So Keanu Reeves is definitely in the motorcycles. He's got his own motorcycle.
Right. Okay, cool. So now, and of course, Larenz Tate is barely the same height as Meagan Good in this. Barely. Right.
I don't know how they pull that.
He's almost looking up to her when he's kissing her,
Unless they lay it down.
Same size. We the same size, man.
Same size, baby. Size me up, baby.
So I was tripping off that a bit, So again, of course, we back to this plot and another familiar situation in movie, scripts. one last score.
Yeah, always.
As soon as you heard one last score, what'd you think?
Shit finna go wrong. That's what shit finna go wrong.
It don't ever go right.
I mean, just like it could be Set It Off. It could be Boys in the Hood because he's trying to get out and go to college.
Right.
It's just not gonna go right.
Yeah. Now A-Trap said on one of these movies, Biker Boys. I remember
that. Sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Biker Boys.
Yeah, I remember that one vaguely.
Yeah.
Let's see. You didn't mention Lala Anthony. Oh, trust me. I was hoping. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Because they didn't show enough of her. But Lala Anthony, yeah, she was in the movie. She played Detective Sonia Diaz.
Yep.
And,
she wasn't in there much.
No, she was in there when they met with
Lance.
Huh?
I said the way they like kind of extended that introduction, they act like he was gonna smash later.
Didn't they? You know, because she looked at him, she was looking at him like, I want to hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I was wondering what the point of that was if you didn't go there.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was just like, now knowing what the rest of the movie was, why would you be looking at him like that and stuff like that?
I'm like,
I didn't get it, you know.
Yeah, it was.
So anyway, Lala Anthony played Detective Sonia Diaz. All she did, like she walked in the room.
Yeah.
When they were meeting with him undercover. And then I think they saw him later whenever they were about to, you know, things were ramping up and you were about to get to the climax.
Right.
You
know, what was the part of Black China? I mean, she was in there, but she was only like a few. I mean, it was it. I mean, I don't know, but they had a place for everybody.
Yeah. So anyway, so they meet, you know, they throw him undercover. He does that. And of course, way too quickly, he gets in. You know, in real life, you ain't gonna get in that quickly.
Yeah.
You know, but they use music to make the introduction, right? You know, they're in the bar. He's getting some food. He's in a Larenz Tate's bar. You know, in his Deuces bar. Deuces down at the end eating some ramen noodles, some shit
out of a damn to-go bar.
Yeah, in his own bar restaurant. Right. I guess he's tired of eating his own shit. He gonna order in. That's right. He was eating some Chinese food or some shit.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
Some lo mein or some shit.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah, probably eating some chicken lo mein.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the guy who's recently undercover is in there.
Right.
And he puts on something. He just happens to put on something that sparks Larenz Tate's interest. Oh, that's my jam right there. I ain't heard this in a long time. Right. It's on the jukebox. You know, jukebox can't only hold about 50 songs.
Yeah, you got about 50 songs. It's going to flip through the book.
You sure you done heard it?
Come on, man.
You know, but he like, I ain't heard this in a minute. Yeah. You know, and, you know, so they kind of connect on that because, you know, detective or the undercover Foster says, you know, that's the kind of music I listen to, et cetera, whatever. Yeah. So, of course, he does what I do when I'm trying to pick up chicks.
Yeah.
Play like I'm not interested.
Right.
I'll holler at y'all. Yeah. And just knowing it's a long play, hopefully I'm going to come back.
Right.
You know, hopefully I run into you again here.
Exactly.
So it's a calculated risk. I may never see you again.
Right.
But I got to act like I ain't really interested. I don't see
I put it out there.
Right. So that's what he did. He made himself known and he left, which sparked interest of Larenz Tate's character. And he's like,
exactly. Because he came and he conquered.
Yeah. And he even said, hey, y'all be good, man. Y'all be light, you know, stuff like that. Like, man, that seemed like a cool dude.
Right.
He wasn't on this bullshit. He wasn't trying to press me for no job.
Right.
Like other old boy was throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, big dude.
You know, he wasn't trying to get put on. He came in, had a drink, had a bite to eat, played some good music, and he bounced. You know, so now what didn't make sense to me is the next time you see him with Larenz Tate, they're in this like little alley thing or whatever when Larenz Tate is working on his bike and he just kind of pulls up. What was the point of him pulling up? What were you here for?
Yeah, what would you need? How did you
why didn't Larenz Tate say, what are you here for? He did.
Right, exactly. Like, how did you come? Like, why did you know to come back? Why did you know to come back and try to impress me about, hey, I know some people that can put you on?
Yeah, you here in this car.
What?
You know, which, fine. They put you in a nice whip. Okay, fine. Yeah. Old school. You pull up. You know, but I didn't understand the point of the visit.
I didn't understand it. Yeah,
You
I
know?
didn't get it. I'm like, you didn't say anything the night before, but how did you know to come back to address me? Because you didn't
Right.
say anything at the
Yeah.
bar. You didn't say
Right.
anything.
Right.
How did you
So,
even know I was the owner of anything?
yeah, so fine, we get to talking and whatnot. And as I mentioned earlier, old boy, the bald headed dude who wanted to be put on, which they had killed one of his boys that was in the crew because he had did some shady shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he was trying to skim the money. Remember
Right, off
that
top.
they went to the move, they went there to get the money. He was trying to play like he didn't have it,
Yep.
until he threatened to shoot him in the knee. Then he was like, it's on top of the refrigerator.
It's on top of the refrigerator.
And then when he go get it on top of the refrigerator, he tried to reach for a gun. So another cat from Power turns and lights him up,
Right.
So now his boys all around trying to get work and shit like that. So again, next time that time the guy didn't come. I was wrong. This is another time. So that time he's like, okay, take a walk with me. So he's walking around the front of the building, they walking and talking and shit like that. And Larenz Tate is for some reason feeling so comfortable with him. He's telling him, everything that he want to tell in life, what he's got on his mind.
Right.
Of course, the undercover guy has all the right answers.
Always. Hey,
that's impressive.
Yeah.
And so Larenz Tate texts his guy saying in a meeting, walking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I guess they just know. Come
what
put guns on this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because they come out as soon as they
I like
get
how
to the
he was texting
door,
that, not looking.
Yeah. So they come walking in the door and they immediately hear him, old boy, up, put a gun in his head, saying you wearing a wire, you a cop, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then of course Larenz Tate does another thing that you see in movies like this where he says, I'm just fucking with you.
Right.
But then he says, I had to know. Yeah. Well, are you fucking with me, or did you have to know?
Or you have to know?
Because those are two different things.
He did the same thing in Inkwell. If you remember that.
I do. But those are two different things. Right. Fucking with me or having to know.
You had to know. Because if you had to know, you wouldn't be fucking with me.
Right. you just found out, right. And just said,
you would have got the answer.
And then just said, okay, I had to know. That's it. Right. Not I'm fucking.
And I hope he would have left it at that. So at least he would know that this dude is off his shit. Like he's half whack.
Yeah, that's right.
But he was okay, let's go get something to eat.
Yeah. And so fine, they do that. So next scene with him and Larenz Tate, oh boy, because again, they're trying to show us how he's infiltrating his crew.
Right.
And he's not infiltrating his crew.
Which didn't seem like he did much.
If that's all it takes. See, a lot of times you got to get in with the crew because you're not going to get to the big guy that easy.
You got to pull out 4 jobs.
Unless you're cool with one of the smaller guys.
Exactly.
And they vouch for you.
And the small guys was like, I don't trust this dude.
Right. Yeah. And probably the reason why they wasn't is because they was foul.
Right.
One of them was. He was a snitch. He got him up. Yeah, so he turned out to be a snitch, working with one of the detectives who didn't want the guy to go undercover.
Who was in the beginning?
That was him. That was him. That was one of the first, twists that I was like, oh shit, that dude is dirty, whatever.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, this ain't boot. What he said, this ain't boot patrol.
Right, boot down or boot patrol or something. Yeah, basically saying, rookie shit.
Yeah.
But he was against it, and I knew I kind of felt he was dirty early because he was telling the lieutenant, "This should be one of my guys." He wanted one of his guys undercover because he probably could know, okay, I can control the situation, and one of his guys is dirty already. So that's why he didn't want him in there.
They didn't even fully trust the undercover guy. They didn't really fully trust him. I mean, you're already upset because he's not checking in. He's not answering.
Right.
If he
think about it. And who just starts undercover and already is defiling the orders of the lieutenant and the crew. And I'm going my own.
Sometimes you don't even have any contact for weeks.
You ain't been on undercover for 10 minutes and your ass already saying, I ain't checking in. I'm doing my own shit. I'm going rogue.
And sometimes you don't even hear from them for about 10 weeks. It depends.
Let's get a couple of comments. Then we'll get back into how he's trying to infiltrate and get in with Deuces. Okay, so A-Trap says Tate was in it with Lawrence Fishburne, Luke Derrick, Kid Rock, Sally Richardson, who's another fine with Sally Richardson, Meagan Good, Lisa Bonet, the Freak of the Week, and the guy that played his right hand man, Rick Gonzalez. Okay, cool. Biker Boys, that is. Yep, I got it. And Jungle Brother in the house. What's up, Jungle Brother, man? Good to have you. Uh, all right. So another scene where they trying to again get close to Larenz Tate and the dude who was the second in the crew and the first got whacked because he was trying to hold off on money and he pressing up to him saying, "Okay, my old boy gone, put me on." And Larenz kept telling him, "What did I tell you? You said you'll get back to me. We need to go now." So because he popped off at the mile, uh, Jason Foster, which is the undercover cop, undercover guy trying to get in, he pops him in his face, pretty hard, saying, "Get the fuck out of here." So he runs him off, and old dude runs off. Now, in real life, is he just gonna run off and you're not gonna see him again?
Fuck no.
He may run off.
Yeah.
But the nigga coming back in about
5 minutes. It ain't over.
Yeah, in about 5 minutes. And it turned out not to be over. But that guy ain't that smart to do what he did.
No.
So one aspect of this is what really got Jason Foster in tight with Larenz Tate now. Larenz Tate starts putting on his jacket and said, "Man, you a wild one. You got some balls, don't you?" Start grinning.
Nobody's impressed by that. You're gonna have to do more, man. How they got Larenz Tate character already impressed?
Apparently he is, So this guy now starts trying to set up the guy who hit it.
Right.
So he's gonna have a fine girl in the VIP at Larenz Tate Club, which is another thing. You're not just gonna be hanging at my club like that if I know you got beef with me,
Right. I mean, she's just randomly sitting at the bar like that. Like,
yeah.
I was like, come on, out of nowhere, man. Come on. Stop.
So you knew that was a setup.
Yeah.
So they got the chick named Sia, again, who's a musical artist in real life. She's playing a lesbian who she looks like she's probably a lesbian in real life. She's playing a lesbian.
I thought it was Remy Ma for a minute, but
it kind of looked like her, didn't it? Yeah. But her name is Sia, and she's playing this character where she's basically trying to get in the crew. But she's riding around on a bicycle and shit. But I always buy them and know where they hang out is, and they like her and everything, but they're not really trying to get her in the crew.
Yeah.
But they let her in the crew, and she riding through one day, sees his second in command, see Larenz Tate's second in command, sitting in the car talking to somebody.
Right.
And she looks, but they don't show us what she sees. They don't show us what she sees.
Right.
They just show him, Larenz Tate's second in command, looking back at her. Did you think anything right then?
I didn't actually.
I didn't either.
I didn't either because it didn't come off as that.
I saw him look, but I didn't think. Now the only reason I thought something is because when the third in command walks up,
yes,
he says, "Why did nigga walk off so fast?"
Yeah. But they didn't say who it was.
That's right, because he had his hoodie on. You never showed his face.
Right.
So we didn't see what she saw, and nobody saw his face, and we just saw him bounce off fast.
Right.
Now, so they saw that they showed the guy in the passenger seat with the hoodie on. Look in the side mirror, saw a car pulling up. He finishes his conversation.
Honestly, I thought they were I thought something was going to happen then, like a hit.
Yeah, like on Larenz Tate's character or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
I thought they were trying to.
So anyway, as shit escalates, this big job is coming about. Larenz Tate tries to pull in the undercover detective on the big deal, on the big last crime. Now, in the meantime, him and Meagan Good's character is all friendly and shit. They smashing.
Right.
She's spending the night over.
Yeah.
They going out, spending New Year's Eve together and shit.
Right.
She's in the special VIP in his club with him and all that. So their lives are intertwined. They kicking it. They like each other. They get into it every now and then because he's out a little late or
Oh yeah.
whatever. But he's always able to win
She
her
up
back,
late waiting.
just by saying, it's you, whatever. So she knows he's a good businessman, but she told him, she goes, it's only two people, two professionals out
Man,
late at night, and that's
man.
either criminals or cops,
Yeah.
And so, but then she just kind of lets it go.
Yeah. Sure.
Like, nigga, I don't see no badge.
Yeah. So
Well, as far
what
as
is it?
I'm concerned, you know what I am. And if you know what I am, then we
why are we
cool.
talking about it then?
That's
You know
right.
who we
Everything copacetic. Nigga, go get you another person.
I
Shut
don't
your
want no
ass up.
questions.
Yeah. So anyway, they smashing and everything. But the big you're right on that, A-Trap. You're right on that. Super much a lot. Had they shown her a little bit more and stuff like that, I would have. But yes,
nice.
She cold.
Did we? I need to look up. Maybe she's been in something. I don't know who she may have been.
I don't know what she done been in, man. I hadn't. Her face looked familiar to me, but I wasn't 100% sure. So anyway, big job coming up. Larenz Tate is promising this is gonna be it, or whatever. Just promise. I promise you, tomorrow is a new day. By the time tomorrow get here, everything gonna be different. Okay. Fine. You can tell she's not really believing him or whatever. At about the same time, not too long after that, the brother, who's the undercover detective, know that the big job about to pop off. So he calls his sister. He's desperately trying to call his sister.
You got to get out.
She's not answering the phone.
Right.
So he blowing that shit up. Larenz Tate think it's another nigga trying to
holler. Because she asked him, like, who called you this time of night?
Yeah. And so he asking, who's this cop blowing up your shit right now? And she goes, my brother. He goes, yeah, your brother. Whatever. But let me answer the phone. Lord. And so she answers the phone right in front of him. And, hello, where you at? I'm right here. I've been trying to get a hold of you. Okay, what's going on? Whatever. So he's telling her, is he there with you? Yeah, because she could tell she's talking funny.
Well, see, at that point, I thought he was gonna go into some kind of, but she never really answered with a code response. I thought he was
almost like he could just tell she wasn't being her normal self. If he was asking questions, but she was only giving half-hearted answers.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you with him? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so he's like, okay, you need to get out. Tell him, make up something. Tell him you got to go here, you got to go there, but you need to get out.
Right.
And so she goes, okay. So she hangs up the phone. He looks, is everything okay? Whatever. So fine. He leaves. Now him and the detective together. Part of them being able to make this deal is Larenz Tate had to put up $1 million. I
gotta ask one question though.
Yeah.
Even in this part, who is working the camera? Who's taking the pictures? You remember that? Where they kept showing, from just advantage angles. They kept showing this scene where somebody was taking the pictures, but they never showed who was taking the pictures.
Yeah, no, they never did. They just
I wonder if that was that the dirty cop, or was that the guy that turned on him, one of his crew members?
Yeah. I couldn't tell. But they never said. They never showed him on the stakeout. They never showed.
Yeah, they never showed who was taking the picture.
I guess they just figured, hey, if we got somebody undercover with this guy, we're gonna have some people staking them out and stuff like that. So they just, I gave them that leap of faith because it's it's plausible at least.
Well, like I said, Tubi TV and Netflix arm wrestle for this one.
Yeah. So so they're again, Larenz Tate got to put up this money, which I thought that part was gonna be a setup. He got to put up $1 million to be able to get this payoff that's going to end up being
right.
I want to say they said 30 million or something.
30 million. It was 30 million. Yeah.
So they, in order to pull it off, they had to have a total of 5 million. The guy who's the front runner on this big sting or whatever they're doing is putting up 2.5. His second in command is putting up 500,000, so that's 3 million.
Right.
Larenz Tate is putting up $1 million. They still ain't saying where the other million coming from.
Where the million come from?
They never told us that.
They never said anything. Whether it was planted by the police, they never mentioned it.
Right.
But then how did the guy know where they were meeting? Though his other guy, how did you tell us?
They didn't tell us none of that.
Yeah.
The next thing we know, Larenz Tate and Lance Gross, which is Jason Foster, the guy undercover. They are getting Larenz Tate's money together. We so cool. Now I'm finna take you to the spot where I keep all my money.
Right.
Okay. And this ain't no little money. This is like a lot of money because I'm finna get $1 million at this stash. I ain't been knowing you for about 6 weeks.
I'm letting you under my wing like that.
So he get this money, and this guy, because he got so close to Tate, because he thinks he's genuinely a good guy, and he's getting ready to try to get out of it. So now I'm finna warn him. Say, man, don't do this.
Yeah.
Why? Man, just don't do it. Just take your money and go to some whatever. I can't some beach, foreign country location, man. Get out. Why? I'm a cop. Okay, you got jokes now. You got jokes. You're a cop. Right.
Then he gets shot.
And then all of a sudden, when he gets shot, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Me.
I didn't expect that.
Right there.
I thought they were gonna I thought he was gonna go more into detail and keep talking about it, and then maybe they will fight it out or something. But no, I didn't
get into the actual crime.
Yeah,
or something.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't expect him to get shot.
And so, did they ever show? Because I can't remember this, but did they ever show who shot him?
Supposedly, it was his own guy.
Yeah, but they didn't show that right then.
They didn't show it right then, though. No.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I take it back. It was probably the other detective. The detective.
The dirty.
Because he had the hoodie on when he came up.
That's what I was thinking. It was a dirty cop. They never did show it. You know,
they never did show though. And then his other boy showed up. To get the money.
Yeah. Okay. And so you think Larenz Tate, he gets shot, and they just let you see him, with a bullet hole here.
He's gonna bleed out. You know?
And you thinking he's done.
Yeah.
You know, and so the rest of the stuff goes and does what it does, and and then that's when they start showing all the twists. Now they backing everything up.
Yeah.
Showing, replaying some scenes at other angles so you can see the guy in the passenger seat was this dirty cop.
Right.
When Sia rode in front of the car, when she looked over, she saw the cop. The cop saw her.
Yep.
So the cop told him, "You're gonna have to take care of her too."
Yes, because she done saw my face.
That's right. You're gonna have to take care of her too.
Yeah.
And so fine. So he goes over to her house. That's why. Oh, we did not talk about when she got shot. That's how I knew she knew who it was.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know which one of them it was.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was the Mexican guy on this squad or Puerto Rican guy on this squad or the power guy, but I knew she knew who it was because when she was getting ready to go inside her house, they call her name. She look up, "Hey, what's up?" And then she goes, "Oh shit!"
Like,
they pull the gun and then kill her, and it's done.
Right. Yep.
So they ended up showing who that was, which again was the power guy, and then. I can't remember what else they revealed, but they basically at this point are just revealing all the twists because on here I put a note that said plot twists. So did any of the plot twists? Did you see any of them come?
Honestly, I have to say I didn't. I did because I didn't think they were going to go into those angles. I thought they were going to just leave stuff like they didn't explain this. They didn't really go into this. So, no, I did not expect any plot twists. I thought it was good because the way it was going, it's just like they were going to do it and then hope you didn't notice and they weren't going to explain it. That's how I felt about it.
I don't know what A-Trap is saying here. He goes something about exactly with a timestamp on it as well.
Oh, the camera part. That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
Who was taking the pictures? Like they never explained. That's why I think it was the dirty cop.
That's what A-Trap thinks.
I think the dirty cop was taking the pictures.
Okay. All right. All right. And now before we move into final thoughts and mic ratings and all that other kind of stuff, it is time for
Beauty of the Week.
All right, it is time for our Beauty of the Week segment. Again, a lot of people may think that this is an easy job. It is not. This is the difficult task. One of my most stressful moments of the week, trying to determine who the finest bitch in the movie.
These
That's
hoes
how it
know.
works. This how it works, you know.
Yeah.
As A-Trap mentioned earlier, we do have some candidates, a couple of different candidates. Uh, one being
no.
Lala Anthony. I really thought she was about to be my first two-time winner. I don't think I've had a two-time winner, have I?
No, this is the first.
I
This
don't
will be
think
the
so.
first. Which
I
I can't
thought,
believe they didn't show more of her character.
yeah. So I thought that, you know, when I saw that she was going to be in the movie, not knowing what her role would be,
Yeah,
I said to myself, "Uh-oh, we might have a first two-time winner."
that's first time.
And then I saw the very first scene Meagan Good was in, and I said, "Okay, y'all can go past the offering plate because this shit
That's
is
a
a
wrap.
wrap."
That's
Yeah,
a
we're
wrap.
gonna do benediction. You
We
know,
finna get this building fund.
we're gonna do benediction. Now again, I don't remember her name, her real name. Matter of fact, let's look that up. The A-Trap mentioned
The coworker.
the coworker.
Yeah.
And let's see if she comes up because they didn't give her. Okay, her name is Antoinette Smith, and yeah, she's bad. Antoinette Smith, yeah, she's bad. And if they'd have showed more of her at the end of the day,
Right. She was
she
nice.
probably would have. She probably
She
would
was
have.
nice.
She
They
probably
slept on.
would have.
They slept on that one.
Yeah, she's
Nice.
been on a couple of things, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's Antoinette Smith. She definitely gets
Is there?
a uh, a honorable mention. Now, Andra Fuller is the name of the cop. Now, it's Andra, spelled Andra, maybe pronounced Andre.
Yeah.
So that is a guy, by the way, if you're looking over the cast of this movie. But for me, you know, the beauty of the week again, it's hard to be in the
Hands
same
down.
movie as Meagan Good.
Hands down.
It's hard to be in a movie,
Hands
you
down.
know. And some of the stuff she had on, I didn't know she was dragging wagon like that, man. Like her in one of those
Man.
scenes where she dropped it for him
Oh,
and
I
like
said
he
she
was
had a
like,
whole bakery
no
back there.
pressure.
She had a whole bakery. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
got-
And I know
Whoa.
a lot of people probably gonna be hating on Megan and whatnot because of
Probably.
her little personal situation. Because she got some weird shit going on in real life. I
That's
give
what
you
she
that.
did, but she been weird though. She always just kind
Yeah,
of been
she
weird.
got some weird shit going on in real life. But check this out. Your boy from Marvel now, I say Marvel,
Yeah.
that played in The Harder They Fall, the Western, uh,
Jonathan
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors?
Her and Jonathan Majors are dating.
Whoa. Ah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Her and Jonathan Majors are dating.
Hey,
That ought to be interesting.
that should be interesting.
That ought to be interesting. But yeah, Megan
Yeah.
Good, you know,
Hey,
she's
man.
been a in our community, you know, Megan Good has been one of those ones, you know.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
know, ain't nobody sleeping on Megan Good.
Nah.
Everybody know what the deal
Well, they
is.
sleeping
You
on
know,
her, on top of her.
you know, now of course, everybody, you know, knows, you know, like I said, they may be, you know, kind of taken aback or whatever, drawn outside, let's say it
Right.
like that, based on uh, uh,
I
her
can't see it.
personal life.
I don't
You
know.
know, like I think
Not me.
she did that whole thing with, you know, wasn't her and that pastor, whatever, like they was no sex or something like that till they got married
Oh, yeah.
and
Well, that's
all
all
that
right,
other
yo.
stuff.
It's
You know,
okay.
then they end up splitting up.
Okay.
So a lot of people think that her being with Jonathan Majors, that was pretty quick, you know, because it ain't
She
been
was
too
probably still
long.
giving some head. I mean,
Oh my
you can
God.
do some head right now, just a little bit.
You waited 54 minutes and 18 seconds.
No, I'm just saying you ain't got to penetrate. You just got to,
Oh,
I'm just saying.
wow.
Ask the peoples. Ask the peoples.
Okay, so
Send
I'm
me
gonna
your
play.
questions to the messenger, ladies.
I'm gonna play Ben right here
Oh Lord.
and go ahead and kick us on to this final thoughts and Mike Ray. What you got? You still thinking about it, man?
I had to answer something.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I had to answer a question. Gosh, I have to give it a. I don't know, man. Maybe 2.5 mics. I can't give it 3. I can't give it 3. It's got to be 2.5 mics. I can't give it 3. It's. I didn't really have a rating going into it, but after kind of refresh, because I actually watched it last Tuesday, and I kind of had a refresher today just to kind of go over some things, but I have to give it 2.5. Like I said, to me, I could be wrong. I felt like it was a second coming of dead presidents. Like this was kind of the way it ended. He went to prison and that was it. But the way this ended, he got the girl, he got the house, he got the business. I feel like it was a second dead presidents kind of thing to me. Like he got off with a big score kind of thing.
Yeah. Because so we had talked about the fact that generally in movies like this, whenever they're saying, "I'm gonna try to make one last score,"
right?
Then I'm out. It never works out.
Yeah.
So basically, they were saying that it worked out for him this time.
Exactly. Because honestly, I was like, damn, it's like he didn't get away in Dead Presidents.
Yeah.
Now he gonna die in this movie. I'm just like, and I really wasn't expecting.
So the way they revealed it, they go, they got some footsteps walking into this, beachy location, this pretty scene, overlooking this beach, this villa or something like this, up in this mountainside, overlooking this beachy situation.
Yep.
And then he turns around and you see that it's him or whatever. You're like, oh shit, this nigga ain't dead.
I thought he was dead. I thought he was done.
And they still not telling you at this point how he lived. They just immediately get into him and Meagan Good starting to talk, and she's like, "I'm finna go to the beach," because she's in like some bikini or some shit.
And I guess she understood what life he lived.
Yeah, shit. At the end of the day, when we in this situation, do you care?
I mean,
So
she ain't working no more.
Yeah, she just done quit her little account and shit, haven't she?
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm about to go down to the beach or whatever she said. Are you going with me? Or you gonna keep working or whatever he was doing? He's
right.
I'm gonna go with you. Grab the champagne glasses. They go, and when he takes his shirt off, that's when you see the little bullet mark. Well, it's not a bullet wound. It's the bruise. The bruise from him having the jacket, the bulletproof jacket on.
Yeah.
Bulletproof vest on. And so then at that point, they start doing some flashbacks and showing you how he survived it and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm guessing what took place was him and the undercover detective. When he got shot, I don't know. Somehow the undercover detective had to help him get out of it.
Yeah, they don't tell you all of that because he can't go to. He definitely can't go to the hospital.
No,
they put his name on the record. That's it. They got him. They gonna arrest him at the hospital.
So maybe because they made it look like he dead. He died right there.
Right.
Like
he's like, man.
So maybe they were doing that for the dirty cop who was probably watching, or who had probably just shot.
Somebody was. Yeah, exactly.
So the dirty cop needed to think he's dead, probably.
But he exactly at that moment. But they end up.
I gotta have a body.
Right. And then of course,
have a body.
Even of course before that, he got Meagan Good body, but even before that, they offed his boy at the restaurant.
Yeah,
he had his boy go off him at the restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
Which I felt like he was always looking over his shoulder anyway.
Yeah, it turned out though that the Puerto Rican guy was the most loyal to him. They were setting it up as if the Puerto Rican guy, because he was the one doing all the talking. Like man, he getting soft. Yeah, he getting soft. He this, he that.
Yeah.
So in fact, the plot twist, and I just say it here, plot twist, and I say the last 15 minutes got him a whole mic rating for me. Yeah. The last 10, 15 minutes of the movie was the best 10, 15 minutes of the whole movie. If they did that same energy throughout the rest of the movie, that same, everything they did in the last 15 minutes, if you'd have did more of that throughout the rest of the film,
with the twist,
you'd have got a better rating.
Yeah.
So what's your mic rating?
I have to give it 2.5.
Okay, and did you start at 2.5 and stay there, or
I actually didn't start with a mic rating. I think after my second kind of, like I said, when I watched it today when I got home from work. I had like, I don't know, 50 minutes left. Kind of just getting a refresher, but yeah, I have to give it 2.5 mics.
okay? Well, I'm at a 2.5 as well. I started at a 3 before this review, before this episode, but and I said, the last 15 minutes got them a whole mic rating.
Yeah.
Because I was going to increase it from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
But after talking about how bad it was and some of the other things that I had an issue with, I'm just gonna have to give it a 2.5.
Oh yeah. I don't see any other need to go. I mean, they didn't even go like he was in the motorcycles as a cover, or was he selling motorcycles? Was he working on motorcycles? I mean, there were just some things he didn't really like. Did he own a motorcycle business? I mean, he had the restaurant.
I just think he had the restaurant because they was doing a lot of racing with it. And stuff like that, and it's almost like they were some of the crimes they was doing. They was using the motorcycles for that.
I thought they were going to be more. There were going to be more heists. I was expecting more heists. And I never really saw any like activity where they were knocking stuff over.
They tried to make them come off as cold-blooded killers, but you ain't did enough killing.
You ain't did no killing
for me to you killed 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, so you shot somebody in the hood. I mean, you hit it with a sawed off. I mean, that was I'm like, because I made it seem like, oh, they're gonna do heists on motorcycles, and it's gonna turn into a motorcycle chase. But they never went into that.
Never. Well, we don't have the end of the bench up here to let us know what is on the end of the bench tomorrow. Needless to say, though, but tune in tomorrow, though, for sure, on the end of the bench, so we can make sure and support our brother H-Rap. Tomorrow on Queen 3 and King is part 2 of Black Marriage, Black Divorce. We are bringing back Gary the Philosopher Freeman, who did a fantastic job with it last week, and the one and only Pastor Dawkins from Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church to get a little pastor's take on it. Somebody who does a little bit of marriage counseling and probably before the fact, and probably do some divorce counseling too. So
I was gonna say, what happens when the marriage counseling doesn't seem like it's gaining any traction?
Right. Yeah. Or it hits a bump in the road because if you're a good marriage counselor, is gonna pose something to them that they probably ain't thought of, and how y'all gonna deal with that?
Right.
Now, do y'all gonna ignore it if you want to get married so bad, or you gonna take into consideration what I'm saying?
Right.
So that'll be interesting, especially again if you did not tune in last week. The Queen 3 and King, Black Marriage, Black Divorce. We talked about how many different statistics that put us in the lead in terms of divorce rate, whether it be you looking at occupation, whether it be you looking at religious affiliations. The things that Black folks do the most are the things that lead number 1 in divorce rate compared to other ethnicities.
Yeah, I hope I need to watch this. I need to see the first episode. I need to watch this one because I'm wondering, like, also, is there patience being applied, and how much patience?
No, I doubt it. When we also talked about, parents of divorce. Excuse me, if you're a child of divorce,
right?
So in a new married couple, if just one of them, are a product of a divorced family, that your marriage is 69% more likely to end in divorce. If both of y'all come from divorced parents, you're 189% more likely.
Oh, easy, because at that point you're done with the BS. You're not trying to. You're done. You're not. Look, it's like I've seen it. I'm not trying to work it out. I'm over it. You're attacking my peace.
So there's some interesting, but like I said, we only got to about a third of because we had John Lewis on.
Might have to be a three.
Yeah, we had John Lewis on the first. I said Garrett Freeman. It was actually John Lewis on.
Yeah.
But Garrett Freeman is gonna come on. No. John Lewis was on He was on the one that's called Once Mine, Always Mine. So that's my bad.
Yes.
We will be doing a part 2 on that too.
Right.
But yeah, Gary Freeman was on and Pastor Dawkins. So we'll do that again tomorrow. Do we know what we're reviewing next week here yet?
I don't know. I think we had a list, but I don't know what else was on that
I don't
list.
remember. Either way, it'll be good. We always do good shit. Hopefully we'll have Ben. We'll have Ben and H-Rap back next week. Again, subscribe to BS3 Network, Queen 3 and King, The Forecast, and The End of the Bench, all on YouTube. We appreciate your support. Again, our website is bs3network.com. The Roku channel is BS3 TV Live. We are going to hit you with a quick commercial, and then we will play our outro, and we will see y'all next week on another episode of Queen 3. Of The Forecast. Look at that. See, I'm not used to doing this. I'm not used to doing this. I'm used to doing
It's a spinoff show.
Queen 3 and King. So, but anyway, we'll see you next week on another episode of The Forecast. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.